sorry, can't come to the phone right now. I'm listening to Party Talk Podcast.
Welcome to the Party Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Cooper Keimig, here with Mr. Fantasy, Chris Keimig. Well, is he Mr. Fantasy?
Well,
I'm not too sure anymore. Gave him a couple
I did
asks.
get beat this week by 100 two different times. And one of them was you little shit. You beat me by 100 and something.
Yeah, I had a pretty good week in fantasy. Let's just say that. I had Jamar Chase and DJ Moore up against Mr. Fantasy this week, and it wasn't even close. All right, well, today's episode, we're going to be talking about week 6 of fantasy for the NFL. Let's go ahead and get started with our segment, the pit of the week, or who's in the pits. Why don't you go ahead and start, Chris?
Well, since I have 2 arm pits, I'm going with 2 pits of the week. One is Miles Sanders of the Panthers. And my God, I got him on one team, and I just don't know what to do. I'm thinking about getting Chuba Hubbard, but 1.2 points. He was outscored by 10 other players on his own team, and he's the starting running back. That's a bunch of bullshit. He's averaging 8 points a game, but he's losing touches to Chuba Hubbard, so there might be a changing of the guard there. So he's my pit of the week, and my other one is a team. So it's a team pit. The New England Patriots. I had them on 3 teams. I dumped them all this week. 3 points. The last 2 weeks, and they've given up 54 total points scored. The Belichick era is over. What do you got?
Well, that kind of goes hand in hand. My stuck in the pits player is Ramondre Stevenson. You know, he's fallen, and he's fallen down hard. He's steadily losing snaps to Ezekiel Elliott, and every week his point total just keeps getting lower and lower. Over the past 3 weeks, he scored 7.2 points, 6 points, and 2.4 last week. This offense, and like you said, the defense has been miserable. He's just not getting the targets that he got last year. You know, in the sleeper league, I got a lot of kickback when I drafted Dameon Pierce over Ramondre Stevenson, and it's looked pretty good so far. So he's going to need Bailey Zappi to bring the ladder to get him out of the pit. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and take a look at the waiver wire for this week. Just some pickups you might want to look forward to. Who you got, Chris?
Emari Demercado of the Arizona Cardinals. He scored 12.7 fantasy points last week. And with James Conner on the IR for the next at least 4 weeks, he's going to be the top running back on the team. And I know everybody's looking for running backs. But this guy, I have him on 2 to 3 teams. I know 2 for sure. Is Jordan Addison of the Minnesota Vikings. With Jefferson on the shelf for about a month, it's going to be Addison shipped the sale. 18.6 fantasy points for the Chiefs last week. And he's double digit scoring in 4 of the 5 weeks this year, even with Jefferson. So I think he's going to be a stud. And also KJ Osborne's out there if somebody already has Addison.
Yep, I picked up KJ in a couple leagues. I wish I was in a league that had Jordan Addison on waivers. Oh man, but
you drafted him.
Yeah, I was close. So kind of bounce off your Demercado for the Cardinals. I noticed on the Cardinals depth chart that they updated, and Keontae Ingram is their first running back on there. He's been the backup for James Conner the last 2 years, but he's been awful. I know Demercado was, one of the higher waiver ads this week, and he got a touchdown last week. Keontae Ingram's just someone to look at. He's injured. He has a neck injury, but I think he's practicing now, so he should be able to play. My next one is Deontay Foreman. Right now, there's a good chance that he's the bell cow running back because Roshan Johnson's still in the concussion protocol. Khalil Herbert is going to be sidelined for at least the next couple of weeks. If you remember couple years ago, Foreman was a lead running back. And in games where he got at least 15 touches last year, he scored at least 11 PPR points in 5 of 6 games. The other one, he scored 9. If Roschon Johnson doesn't come back, I could see Foreman getting a lot of touches against the Vikings, who have been a pretty good run defense this year, surprisingly. But, I mean, if you need someone for just this week, Deontay Foreman's someone to look at. And my
Roschon, he played on Thursday, right?
Yes.
So he might be back.
The only players who have come back the following week from concussion protocol are those who got it on Thursday. So, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that he does come back, but you never know. And then my last one is Logan Thomas. He's tight end 11 on the year while missing a game and a half. He's averaging 11.6 PPR points per game, which is pretty good from a tight end. Last week, he saw 11 targets with 9 catches. He's one of Sam Howell's favorite targets so far, and I'd look to add Logan Thomas. He's got some plus matchups coming forward. Let's go ahead and discuss our ads that we had last week. You want to review yours, Chris?
Yeah, I had quite a few. CJ Stroud, he had 14 points. He's still one of the, I think he's still a top tier quarterback this year. Jaleel McLaughlin, 17.9 points. He was the number 7 RB last week. He might be still number 1. We'll see. He's still doing, might be splitting time, but still get some good numbers, I think. Tyler Boyd, not bad, 9.9. Jonnu Smith, 10.7. Another good week for a tight end. Jake Ferguson was 5.8, and Brett Maher, nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that pick.
That one hurt me a little bit in the sleeper league, but so my pickups I had last week was Romeo Doubs. I think he had 1 catch. It was a tough game to watch up until the end for the Packers. Jordan Love kind of looks lost right now. I think he'll have a better week this week, though. My other pickup was Elijah Mitchell. He didn't end up playing, but the 49ers backup running back, he almost outscored Christian McCaffrey. He had a touchdown and I think 45 plus yards and a couple catches. So I think Elijah Mitchell would have done a little bit better than that, but he should be playing this week. I would still go ahead and add him. It's a nice, lottery ticket if he does Christian McCaffrey does end up getting hurt or something like that. And then my other one was Jameson Williams. It was his first game back from suspension and a hamstring injury. Dan Campbell said he's going to be getting more touches here soon, so still take a flyer on him. Alrighty, let's look forward to our sleeper player of the week. I'll go ahead and start. I know you were telling people to add him last week. I'm going to go Tyler Boyd. He's still only rostered in about 50% of leagues. T. Higgins, questionable to play. I think he'll sit out this week because they got their bye coming up. The Seattle Seahawks give up the fourth most fantasy points to wide receivers per game. Joe Burrow had an amazing first game, back. We'll call it back out of the pits because I had him as the Pits player of the week last week, and he had an amazing week. This game has some shootout upside. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Tyler Boyd's got a great matchup, and, I mean, if with these buys coming up, if you need someone to start, look for Tyler Boyd. Who's your sleeper player of the week, Chris?
I got Rashee Rice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's only rostered in 23% of leagues right now, and they play the Denver Broncos with Kelsey may sit out. If they get a big lead, I can't see Kelsey doing much. Might just be a decoy out there. Denver's defense is so bad. Just go grab them right now.
So let's look to our start of the week. Who you got, Chris? Who's your start of the week?
Well, I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. He's only been averaging 11 points a week, but he just came back with a 23-point week last week. And I heard on one of the podcasts I listened to, his miles per hour on his throw increased 7 miles an hour.
That's a lot.
I think he's getting his legs are getting back. He's getting them back underneath him. So, and also, fantasy points to wide receivers, Broncos are dead last. They averaging 48 points. So I think Chase is going to be eating again this week. So I hope I don't play him.
Yep. So I got 2 starts of the week. One's a wide receiver, one's a running back. I'll go ahead and start with Zay Flowers. He's averaging 12 points per game so far as a rookie, which is pretty good. If you watched the game last week, the Ravens, all of their pass catchers, they forgot their stickum. They could not catch the ball. I think they had, 7 combined drops as a team. Zay had 2. Mark Andrews had 3, I think. I think they bounced back, and Zay Flowers, he's got a great matchup against a Titans defense who gives up the 5th most yards to wide receivers and the 3rd most catches. I look for Zay Flowers to have a big week. And then my other one is a Thursday night, Isiah Pacheco. He's got at least 16 touches, 60 yards, and a touchdown in the last 3 weeks. He plays the Denver Broncos, who give up 36 fantasy points per game to running backs, which is insane. And that's 10 points higher than the next team, which is the Panthers. I think he'll have an insane week. The only way I don't see that happening is if, they get up by 4 touchdowns and they rest him. But I think Isiah Pacheco could be RB1 this week. All right, so we're going to do a little rankings. I got some questions for you, Chris. I want you to rank these guys the rest of the season, from 1 being, who will be the better, and then the 3rd being the worst. All right, so rank these 3 rest of the season: Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, and DeAndre Swift.
Can I have all 3 of them? I mean, if I had all 3 of them on my team, I'd be sitting pretty. But I think it's going to be Breece Hall, and then Jonathan Taylor, then DeAndre Swift. I do have 1 share of Jonathan Taylor, but Breece Hall, he's the real deal. He's like 1 or 2 years younger. Taylor's got Moss in the backfield, so there's going to be maybe some splitting times. Are they going to trade Jonathan Taylor? Are they going to trade Moss? I mean, hey, that's an option. And then DeAndre Swift, I got Gainwell on my team. I'm holding on because DeAndre Swift doesn't make it past week 8 this year, I think. He's brittle.
Yeah.
So I got Hall, Taylor, and Swift.
I think I'd go Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift, and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I could see DeAndre Swift getting hurt because he usually does, but that offensive line is it's crazy. All right. Rank these 3: CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, and Puka Nacua.
I'm going with Puka.
Puka number 1.
You saw what he did last week with Cooper Kupp on the team. That might just open it up a little bit more for him. And I do have quite a few shares of him. I picked him up on the waivers the first week. Then CeeDee Lamb over DJ Moore, just because I'm just not 100% sold on Fields yet. He had a great game. There ain't no doubt about that. But I just got CeeDee a little bit more than Moore.
Yeah, I think I'd go CeeDee, Puka, and then DJ Moore. I think they're all pretty close. All right. Rank these 3 rest of the season: Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow.
Rest of the season, I'm going Joe Burrow. I think he's back. He's got the weapons to prove it. And I'll go with Lamar and then Justin Fields. And Lamar, I'm not 100% sold on. When he's running, even with Fields, when they're both running, they're both awesome quarterbacks. But Lamar, I don't think he's thrown a touchdown the last 3 weeks. He's just been running. Or maybe I saw some stat that he has 3 games without any touchdown passes. He's getting most of his points on the ground. So I got Burrow number 1, way ahead of the other 2.
Yeah, I'll take Lamar. Then I'll go.
Trade? You want to trade?
I got Herbert. I don't need him.
I'll take Herbert.
I'll take Lamar, Joe Burrow, and then Fields. All right, and the last one. Rank these 3 rest of the season: Sam Laporta, Darren Waller and George Kittle.
It's gonna be Sam Laporta. He's just dynamite right now. Then I'm going with George Kittle's probably better and more opportunities to score, but Purdy doesn't like him because he went to Iowa. And Purdy's from Iowa State, so he's not throwing him the ball. Last week he got the 3 touchdowns, but yeah, I'm going Kittle over Waller. I think Waller's game was just a fluke because he's a squeaky wheel that was whining, so he got a few more balls. But I think he's going back to 3 catches a week.
Yeah.
I picked up somebody else. It might have been Jonnu Smith just to have somebody because I don't think Waller's going to do it this year. Jones is terrible.
Yeah. I think I'll go real close. I'll take Darren Waller, Sam Laporta, and then George Kittle. I like the other two a lot better than George Kittle. I think the 49ers just have too many mouths to feed. I feel like they pick a name out of a hat every week and like, hey, we're going to get this guy the ball, this many times. And yeah, so I'll take Darren Waller, then Sam Laporta, and then George Kittle.
So if I had Sam Laporta and you had Waller, you would trade him.
Well, I have Darren Waller and Sam Laporta in our league, and I'm trying to trade Sam Laporta right now. So
trade him while he's hot. All right.
Yep. All right. So let's finish off with our bets of the week. What you got, Chris?
Well, you already talked about him a little bit. Isiah Pacheco. I got this on DraftKings, 75.5 yards. They're playing Denver. The worst defense against running backs has given up over 200 more yards than the second worst team. So that's as long as they play the full game. I think he might play the first half and they get a big lead. Then they'll put CEH in there. But I heard another interesting fact today. Any running back that's played against Denver this year has had a career high in fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 games this year.
Jeez.
4 of the 5. And I think the other one that didn't was Herbert for the Bears, and he had his second best day ever. So, I mean, you can just run on them all day.
Yeah.
So I can see Pacheco getting that as long as he plays, first 3 quarters. I think he'll get that. I got Chris Jones getting 1 full sack. He's at 0.75. I bet you he has 3 on the night, so I think that's a pretty much given. Rashee Rice over 30 yards. And Kelsey under 67.5 because I think he's going to be a decoy, and he'll be sitting out the whole second half.
Yeah.
I don't do unders very often, so.
Yeah, Kelsey, he's been kind of saved by touchdowns this year, so I think that under's a good sneaky bet right there. All right, so I'm going with the Thursday night same game parlay. It's going to give you plus 184. I'm going to go Russell Wilson plus 200 yards. He's hit this 2 of the 2 games that they played against the Chiefs last year. He's hit it 3 of 5 games this year. They're going to need to pass against this Chiefs team, and I think he hits that pretty easy. Next up is Jerry Jeudy plus 40 yards. He's hit this 4 out of 5 games this year. Like I said, they'll need to pass a lot, and I think Jerry Jeudy hits that. And I'm going to go Isiah Pacheco, 40-plus yards. I think he can hit that in the first quarter against this Broncos defense. He's hit this 4 out of 5 games this year. So that's going to be my bet of the week. All righty. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.